morning, everybody, and welcome to Cameras and Coffee. I'm testing out a new microphone, so a shotgun mic. So let me know how the audio sounds to you, and if this is a good sound. So at any rate, today for Cameras and Coffee, I have an announcement that I am participating in the Film February contest being hosted by Andrew and Danae of the Andrew and Danae channel. I suspect that most of you know who they are, and Andrew and I have been good friends for some number of years. In fact, when we moved out here to Denver, we met up with them and had lunch, and it was a pretty good time. And we text often and chat about photography and things like that. So when Andrew reached out to me to participate in this, I was like, yes, this sounds like this will be awesome. And I knew instantly what I wanted to have for the prize. We'll get to that in a minute. So Andrew provided a script. I'm just going to go through this and to make sure that I have the same information that everyone else does. Film February is a different sort of photo contest. Instead of judging a single photo, we want to see a whole roll. We want to celebrate one of the best aspects of shooting film, the wait and the anticipation. It's a whole roll of film which must be shot before processed and processed before enjoyed. It's a gift we give ourselves, and in February we want to make a big deal out of it. And I think that is a really neat idea for a contest, and I don't think I've ever seen a contest that has the same approach of judging an entire roll of film. During the month of February, we want you to shoot at least one roll of film and mail it undeveloped to us. With the help of our sponsor, Indie Film Lab, that us, you're mailing it to Andrew and Danae, not to me. And there's instructions in this video on where to get all of that information. At any rate, with the help of our sponsor, Indie Film Lab, we will develop and scan your film for you and enter the whole roll as a sequence or set of images into the contest for judging. We're excited that we have Indie Film Lab's support, since that allows us to have a discounted rate for everyone on scanning and development. We're also excited about looking at a whole roll as a unit or series rather than just one frame. It adds an exciting dimension to the contest. Of course, not every shot will be perfect, but we don't need to tell you that those beautiful imperfections make film photography so exciting to begin with. Judging this contest will be a group of 13 extremely passionate film photographers and YouTube creators, or better yet, 12 of them and me. I'm here hanging out. Just kidding. I'm one of those 13. I am really excited beyond words to be participating in this contest, and I cannot wait to see the quantity and quality of entries and start looking over the work you guys submit for this contest. And I hope that my prize, which we'll get to in just a second, is encouragement to help you get out there and do your darndest at getting some great images. Each judge will be choosing a single roll of film which resonates most with them, and will be awarding one prize of their choosing to the owner of the winning roll. If you're interested in seeing all of the judges and the various prizes they're choosing to give away, please head over to filmfebruary.com, which will link to their various channels. As for Danae and I, the prize I should have edited this before I read it, I guess. As for me, the prize I have chosen to give away is, insert prize here. All right. You might have seen a photo on my community page a couple of days ago of this camera. 3 years ago, I had an idea to make a line of Pinhole cameras and take them to Kickstarter. This is the final pre-production test unit in the actual material that they will be made in. They're designed to be kits that would be assembled at home. Oh, Steinbeck. Oh, Steinbeck. Steinbeck hates the FedEx guy. Come on up, Pupper. No, you don't get to sleep under the blanket some more now. Okay, back to the prize. So 3 years ago, I had this idea that it would be fun to launch a Kickstarter with a pinhole camera. And I set about doing some conceptual designs, and over many iterations came up with a design that looked somewhat like this. So this is the 5th generation prototype. It's a fully functional pre-production unit in the actual material that the Kickstarter cameras will be made in if that happens and if it's successful. So let me tell you a little bit about this camera. It is made of 7mm bamboo plywood, so it is completely lightproof. It's also ridiculously strong. The 8x10 version of this that I've been using, which is actually a slightly thinner material, has fallen over, been kicked around by car, been dropped many times, and shows no wear. These are ridiculously well-built and robust cameras. Very simple shutter on the front, 52mm threaded filter ring on the front, sighting lines. I have quick release clips in here, but there's a tripod clip on the bottom and on the side. No bubble level because frankly you will have to use a tripod with this, and I'm assuming that your tripod has bubble levels. This is the 5119 cameras. It is the old naming convention, so the actual finished units for this would be called the 57 Model 1. This is called the Mount Bierstadt. Long story on those names, we'll cover it another time. All the tech specs are here. 127mm focal length, 0.5mm aperture, which is f254. Image circles 244mm versus a film diagonal on the film backs here of around 211. And that's important because it tells us that there's not a hard circle on the edge of the frame, and that the there isn't a huge amount of illumination loss in the camera in the corners. And the angle of view is 81.3 degrees, roughly 82 degrees, 81 to 82 degrees. These are pretty darn close. I think there's a little bit more area outside of the outside of these lines than is covered. So if you sight up in these lines, you're going to be happy. And then on the back, we have an exposure calculator for the Sunny 16 rule. Basically, your shutter speed for a Sunny 16 setting is over here from 3200 ISO down to 0.12 ISO. And then the actual shutter speed you would need based on the Sunny 16 rule exposure for this camera. Down here on the bottom, this 0.12 ISO is, I used to use a photo paper by Slavich, which took 40 minutes in the darkroom to expose before an image would develop. It was ultra slow. That paper is this one right here. The actual production units aren't going to go quite that slow. They're only going to go down to 1 ISO. At any rate, so being a prototype, it does have a few quirks, like some added padding on the back here to hold the film back in place, but it is felt lined instead of painted, which gives a better result in terms of reducing internal reflections, and that means that there is there's better contrast on your images. And I will say that the images from this camera are really contrasty. So at any rate, it's a lot of fun to use. It is very, very sturdy, and if the Kickstarter is not successful, or if for some reason it never happens, then whoever wins this camera will be the only person in the world besides me who ever shoots them. So I hope that's an exciting prospect to you to be able to win this. And if you haven't ever shot 5x7, you'd probably need to pick up a couple of 5x7 film decks. It's a little bit of an uncommon format, I know, but it is a ton of fun to use. And the images that come off of this are pretty neat. I don't have any scanned yet, otherwise, from this specific camera. Otherwise, I would show them to you. So that is the prize I will be giving away. I won't include any film backs because I need them all. I only have a few. So you will get the 5x7 bamboo 5119 camera. So that is my Film February announcement video. I hope that the prospect of winning that camera is very exciting to you. What I'm going to look for when I judge my roll of film that I pick is the most cohesive creative voice across the entire roll. Different subjects, different techniques, all of that is fine. What I want to see is a unified concept of a creative vision within that roll of film. And also, so what I'm going to be doing when I judge my roll of film is I want to see a breadth of different types of images, different styles, different subjects. Basically, the most diverse roll of film that you can provide with the highest quality of images across a range of either stylistic differences, technique differences, subject differences, or all three of those if possible. And whoever does that, meets that prompt the best, will win that camera. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you in March when I announce the winner of the Mount Bierstadt pre-production prototype pinhole camera.